It's like, yeah, Lord of the Rings. Explain Lord of the fucking Rings. The last movie was 3.5 hours in the theater. Oh my God.
It depends on whether or not that last half hour is any good, and that's what I'm saying, because the only complaint that I've heard from people is saying it doesn't really ruin the movie, but it's unnecessary. That's what I've heard people say about that.
Well, we'll see. You know what? I really want this to be good. I do. I think they've overhyped it. I think we've heard too much, and I've got way too many people constantly asking me how excited I am, and it's like once that happens, it's you hit a wall, especially when you've done this for a long time, because there's a point where you get so excited that there's no way the movie can live up to it.
Well, I don't get excited about anything. I mean, I'm excited to see the movie because I already think it's going to be at least a decent film. I mean, I don't think it's going to be bad, so I'm already going in there knowing that I'm in for something that's well made. I go into everything with no expectations. I mean, that's just how it goes these days. And people ask me over and over the same question to the point where I'm like, well, this is a person who doesn't know me. All right, I'm used to it.
The thing about this is I'm hoping beyond hope that this is not a summer film. Because what this movie looks like to me, I mean, it may be released in the summer, but that was what was great about the last one, was it was not, nobody would call it a summer film. Because it was not a laid-back, fun, poofy, explosion fest. It was a heavy film, and it was really fucking. I heard
there's a balance here. I heard that it's not only a good summer movie, not only a good superhero movie, but it's a good movie. Now, you're right. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not riding off of what I hear here. I mean, all these people could just be going in with the hype, even though they say they're not buying into it. And they could be just totally seduced by that. And they go in wanting a good movie, and that's what they got. I'm going to go in thinking like just anything else. Just like with Batman Begins. Like I walked out, and I'm telling you what I honestly thought. I thought it was a great movie, but that last part, that climax, was disappointing to me. So, but it might be the same here.
And what I'm speaking to is just, I remember you walking out of the film kind of shaking your head going, man, I see what you're talking about, but I just didn't love it like that. But that's just what I remember.
It was probably going against what Cyrus said, because Cyrus came out just loving the movie. And we did
he practically jerked off on the fucking front of it.
And him and I did have a conversation.
He was standing by the poster, giving it that loving stare, and he was just pounding away at that thing, and it was just like, oh my God.
Because him and I had a conversation where he said that's a perfect movie, and I had this whole thing of saying, no, I don't think it was. I think it was great.
This is exactly what I'm remembering.
Okay, see, that's what you heard.
You were shaking your head going, no, I do not think it was a perfect movie. And so, and when you get in an argument like that, you don't just try to play shades of gray, or at least you've gotten better about it. But back at the time, if somebody said, you were like, that movie was pretty damn good. No, that movie was awesome. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. Fuck you.
Well, at
fuck
the
you.
time,
that movie was awful.
I didn't have it. I didn't have that conversation with him at the time, because I remember.
But you were
because he said he was. In fact, it was more heated on his part, because he was like, "You can't tell me that this movie isn't better than some other movie that was getting praised at the time." I was like, "No, I can tell you, because it's all about opinion. I mean, I don't even think it's better than the movie you're talking about it. But if somebody says so, how can you argue that? I mean, you have your opinion about it, and that person has their opinion about it. You can't say one is right or the other. I mean, it's just not. That's not an argument.
Now, I do love the last one, and I do own it on DVD. I love I love the shit out of it. I want this, and I think this might even be the better film, and I hope so. But I think the problem, it's got too much hype right now, and I'm really hoping that it can live up to it.
Yeah, no, it was going to have that ever since Heath Ledger died. But I tell you what's really got me excited is, I mean, I'm not excited, but what's making me think this is just going to be just a massive hit. I mean, it was even before Heath Ledger died. People were looking at those pictures of the Joker. First ones came out, they were like, we don't know. It was that picture where he's up close to the screen. They're like, I don't know about that. It looks weird. But when they finally saw him, they were thinking, wow, this is pretty incredible, and at least appearance-wise. And then when they actually saw trailers of him, people were like, this is the Joker everybody's been looking for. And I don't know. I have a feeling, man. But, hey, you never know.
We'll see.
You never know.
See.
I don't claim to have a pulse on all this movie stuff. I just take guesses like anybody else. Here's some email. This comes from Miriam from Australia. She says, let me just start by saying thank you for a brilliant show. Now, it's funny how people have called this a show now. Like, it's not a website anymore. Some people actually call this a show, like a program on TV or something. But she says, thanks for the brilliant show and all your hard work. It provides so much entertainment for me, almost too much. So here's a question for you.
I'm glad we got to a question.
What do you?
I hate these emails.
I know. I can't help you there. What do you think that about this whole thing of diva singers shifting into an acting career? It seems to happen so much these days. Do you think it's an effective way to plug a movie to the public so that it enhances your career? And let me see. I'm far away from the screen here. On that note, it is likely that I'm not going to read that. Anyway, it says, love from Australia, Miriam. Thanks very much. And we get a lot of questions from people who say, what do you think? Do you think movies were better back in the day, in the 50s and whatnot? Do you think they were better at a better time? What do you think about this trend that's happening right now with people? And you don't understand that these trends have always been there, and these good movies have always been there too. This whole thing of divas and singers expanding their career into movies is nothing new at all. I just made a list real quick right before I even got that email, which is just a little bit before you got here. And if you look throughout time, you got people like Judy Garland, Peggy Lee, Doris Day, Diana Ross, Dolly Parton, Bette Midler, Whitney Houston, Barbra Streisand, even Madonna. Some people have made the crossover better than others, but these are all people who are singers. In other words, it's nothing new for singers, whether it be men or women, adults or children, to make that transition to movies. If they're popular and they're bankable, a studio is going to grab them up at some point, maybe, and try to make that transition for them. I mean, what do you think? Yeah. I mean, it's nothing new.
There have been several that did it, but I mean, the ones that really stick out, Madonna, who kept trying to do it, they never worked out. And then you look at, you left off one of the greatest from the list, Bette Midler.
No, I did. I said Bette Midler.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear that in the list.
I came after Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Bette Midler is probably, and Dolly Parton doesn't count because she was in like what? Was she?
She did.
Did she do a second movie?
Yeah. Do you remember
right,
Rhinestone? Well, maybe 3. She did. Do you remember Rhinestone?
She was in Rhinestone.
And Rhinestone's a horrible movie, but she tried.
She did too, and then later on she was in Straight Talk, which was that movie from the 90s.
But I'm just saying the attempt was there. Like I said, some people have done it better than others.
But no, of course, and it really is. It's one of those things that you kind of have to try that if you can, because the music business is one of the most fickle businesses in the world. Think about the number of people who really, truly last after a second album. And people who are fantastic, people who are incredibly talented, but just, after the second album, nobody cares. You will go, no matter how talented you are, you can go away. But when it comes to a movie career, you can always keep working because people will put you in a movie just because of your name.
Yeah. And if you're really talented, you can make the transition into directing. Barbra Streisand has directed a couple of successful movies.
Yes, she has.
So, if you're talented in multiple areas, then you got a better chance of, as you say, keeping your career going. But yeah, no, look, there's all these trends that you're going to ask us a lot of questions. This happened a long time ago in movies, remakes, actors who sang, making a transition. All this stuff probably has been done before at some point.
But our job is to remind people of that.
Oh, yeah.
Our job is to go back through history and say, look, this is not new. This is just a thing that's come back around again. Because
and
back
I have
in
no problem with that.
In the 80s and 90s, it was taboo. Like when Madonna did it, she was razzed about it.
Because she wasn't that good.
And you were allowed to either, well, it's not just that, but you were either a musician or you were an actor. You were not allowed to do both. Remember how much shit we gave to Marky Mark when he made his first movie? And then he turned out to be really good.
I don't know if I gave that much shit to him because I've always thought that it's not a surprising thing. When Marky Mark did it, I went back and thought of the epitome of that, which is probably Frank Sinatra. We had.
Well, but then at the same time we had Marky Mark and Will Smith. It's like, what's up with all these rappers becoming?
That's
actors?
what it was. It was rappers that were people, and it still kind of gets under people's skin.
And then it turns out, oh wow, look, they turned out to be two of the greatest actors of their generation. Oh wow, that was pretty cool.
No, I have no problem with rappers. Rappers have made their names as performers already to go in and
the ones
act.
I don't like are the ones that get one album that's big on the rap charts and then they go and do direct-to-video crap.
You know something? That's
dirty cops
that's a
with
good
a
segue
Z.
to this one last email I'm going to read.
Give me that last email.
Because
motherfucker.
this is a
Give
funny,
it to me, motherfucker, before I have to write a rhyme about it. Because I can outrhyme you anytime, motherfucker. That was a rhyme, but it was internal rhyme.
You were so terrible at this. You know, when I see, I don't want to bring race to it, but when they say the white dude that can't rap that tries, you were that guy. You were no Marky
I
Mark,
never actually try.
and you should not ever try again.
No. Why would I try?
You just did, and it put a hurting on my eardrums. That's okay. I'm a black guy. I can't rap, so. But this is a funny email that made me laugh here because of some of the titles this guy was throwing out. It says, my grandpa is not good at renting movies. He'll always grab the worst straight to DVD shit as long as it looks like it's an action movie and as long as it has Spanish subtitles. You sound just like so many of my friends' dads. I can't even tell you, man. But he says, this is funny what he's saying. He's like, the other day he rented a movie called 45 Caliber. Then he comes home with another movie called Ghetto Dogs. Then there's another time he came home with a movie called Full Clip. And what's worse is the fact that he ended up hating all the movies that he's rented. So I'm wondering, how can I convince him to not rent a movie? And do you guys have any recommendations on some really good blow up shit, fuck the plot action movies? And I'm thinking, well, I think your granddad is bringing enough of them home. Maybe you should trust his decisions a little bit more. But let me just tell you something. If your grandfather brought home Ghetto Dogs, I would want him to call me so I could come over and watch this shit. Because that sounds like unless it's some Disney shit that I'm missing, Disney presents Ghetto Dogs.
No,
I didn't.
Dude, Ghetto Dogs is not good.
Have you seen this?
I've seen Ghetto
You've
Dogs.
seen Ghetto Dogs?
I've seen Ghetto Dogs.
Now, is it actually, is it like Hollywood Chihuahua? Is it some dogs in the ghetto talking?
No, it's Dogs, D-A-W-G-S.
Oh, see, he spelled it dogs, D-O-G-S here.
No,
Oh,
it's
shit.
D-A-W-G-S. It's Ghetto Dogs, boy.
Oh, shit.
You better represent. I actually know a guy who was in that movie. I had to send him an email and go, dude, what were you doing? He's like, I owed the director a favor.
So, Ghetto Dogs, man, what is this about? I mean, it sounds like some straight to DVD
You know what?
shit.
No, it is straight to DVD shit. I saw this when it came out years ago, and it's one of those things I barely remember where I was watching it going, oh, God, dude. No, this is like 5-6 years ago, easily. It's not something that I remember much of. There's direct-to-video movies I watched last week that I barely remember.
Yeah,
Ghetto Dogs is not good. I can tell you that much.
You know something? Here's what I would recommend that you watch. You want to watch a movie with some cool action, a very thin plot, but just exciting to watch. Go rent the original Assault on Precinct 13.
I would wholly disagree with you on that.
Why is that?
You know what? I dig that movie. It doesn't hold up.
I just watched that movie not too long ago, and I love that movie.
I like the remake. I think the remake is pretty fucking good.
So here's where you and I disagree. I thought that remake was terrible.
I dug that remake. I dug the shit out of it. The original, it's good. It's a good classic film, but you love it from the sense of a shitty 70s cinema.
No, I love it from the sense that this movie was made on a low budget and it's pretty well made. And I thought and not only that, it's a good action movie. I think that movie's very good.
Dude, I love Carpenter, and I love that movie, but it's one of those movies that I showed to a bunch of people a few years ago out of my love, and it didn't hold up.
No, there's certain things in there where the John Carpenter even tells you, like, I couldn't afford to stop the camera right here because we had nothing to fill in this part. But I don't know, man. I think it's a brilliant film. I'm not only saying that from some nostalgic sense. I'm not even saying that because I think it's a bad movie that you can make fun of. I actually think it's a really cool movie.
You know, the movie that, ripped that one off to a certain extent that I really enjoy, that I can recommend, is a French film. French film called Nid de Guêpes. It literally translates to Nest of Hornets, but it was released here in the States under The Nest. And it's this cool flick. It's about, there are like two stories going on that collide. One is a story about a bunch of thieves who are robbing a warehouse in the middle of the night. And the other story is about this super cop who is transporting Europe's most villainous, just evil motherfucker from one prison to another. And his gang shows up and kills all the cops, just takes them out. And this super cop drives, the van with the prisoner in it into this warehouse. And all of a sudden, these criminals who are trying to rip off this warehouse are stuck in this warehouse with a couple security guards and a super cop, while all these masked thugs are raiding, trying to kill them all to free their lord, their crime lord. And it is a bad.
I was about to say, that sounds just like Assault on Precinct 13, but it sounds like it's cool.
No. Like I said, it rips it off. But what they did with it is just incredible. It's this great film. It's called The Nest. I highly recommend
But
that.
of course, the Assault on Precinct 13 ripped off not
Rio Bravo.
Rio Bravo and Night of the Living Dead.
Well, yeah, but as John Carpenter himself said, I just keep remaking Rio Bravo over and over again. Another one, if you haven't seen Boondock Saints yet, you have to see Boondock Saints. That's a great one. Going with the mainstream stuff, highly recommend Bad Boys 2. That's one of those just really great, fun
I was trying to think
films.
of shit that this guy might not have seen because Bad Boys 2 was out there, and I like Bad Boys 2.
That's it. No, that's a really. But you got to recommend it because it's just. Look, maybe he hasn't seen it. Maybe he thought, oh, I heard that was Michael Bay and it's stupid. No, that movie's fucking awesome.
No, and again, it's one of those dumb movies just full of action, and it's pretty cool. I mean, if you just want action, that movie has no brain at all.
Yeah, no, it's. But The Nest is great. This guy sent me an email too. I was going to actually answer it and ask Carlisle because there were a bunch of movies that came to mind. But now that I'm 3 beers and an hour and a couple of cold ones in, I'm like, God, what were those movies that I was going to recommend to him?
I mean, I don't know. You could recommend anything from Hong Kong. I mean, that's still shit in Hong Kong.
Well, if you want, you want to talk about Hong Kong. First of all, you need to see The Killer. You need to see Hard Boiled. You need to see A Better Tomorrow and A Better Tomorrow 2.
All those are John Woo
awesome
movies.
Films by John Woo.
Yeah.
Time and Tide by Choi Hawk is a great one.
If I want to, if I'm going to recommend something that you talk about is like brainless, but it's actually creative in a brainless kind of way, and we're going to talk about stuff that's probably well known right now, but maybe by not some people. Talk about something like Kung Fu Hustle.
Well, Kung Fu Hustle is a lot of fun. That's you're talking
And
about
Shaolin
Stephen
Soccer,
Chow now.
yeah.
Shaolin Soccer. King of Beggars, one of his early films, is fantastic.
Yeah, I've actually seen that. Yeah.
Holy crap, is that a good movie? One-Armed Swordsman's a great movie.
God of Cookery, is that
God of Cookery, God of Gambling with Chow Yun-Fat. I was just watching a scene from that the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I was at the game store and someone was showing the final sequence to God of Gamblers, and oh god, that's a good film.
There's a lot of good shit out there. I mean, this is one of those categories where it's kind of hard because you don't. I mean, somebody might be able to be more immersed in this and tell you some stuff other than us, because I know Co-Host 3000 is great at that. Just finding these movies that no one has seen and just recommending them, and they're these action films that kind of blow me away. And I'm like, where'd you get this? But I'm telling you stuff that's kind of well known. If I had actually prepared for this, I probably could tell you some more stuff. I mean, ask me about some underground films or blaxploitation or animation. But when it comes to action, I'm going to tell you, I'm not. Right off the top of my head, I can't really just blurt out stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm a big action. Okay, now for those of you who are hardcore, I'm talking about hardcore guys. I'm going to recommend something to you. Oh god damn it.
I haven't seen that one.
No. The name just eluded me. God. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a quest because now the name is gone. I have this at home, and I'm trying to think of the American translation of the name. But it's from the director who did Ong Bak.
I knew you were going to say Ong Bak.
And then followed it up, after that he did The Protector. In between that, he did this awesome film, which really showed who he wanted to be. He wants to be Thailand's Michael Bay. And The
Protector was the one where he's protecting the elephant, right?
Yes. Yeah. This one does not have God, now I'm blanking on his name.
And the guy the little guy who was in those movies. Yeah. Well, he is a little guy, but he kicks ass. Yeah. He's an amazing little guy. Yeah. I can't remember his name either.
God, damn these beers. Damn you asking me this question. I'm going to go home, and I've literally got it on DVD. I found the DVD at a store that was going out of business. And God, I love this film. It's the film in between there. Same director. This guy wants to be Michael Bay really bad. And the film is this incredibly patriotic film about the nation's Olympic team who they're going out and giving away all these presents, these blankets and food and toys to people in this poor village out in the middle of Thailand.
Somebody doesn't want that.
No. At the same moment that they're out there, terrorists show up with a missile and they take over the town, and they're going to launch a missile from this town and blow up the biggest city in Thailand, which I think has 12 people in it. Our fans in Thailand are pissed at me now. Damn you, Carlisle! God, why can't I not think of the name of this movie? You guys will be able to find it on IMDb. Anyhow, the point is, these terrorists show up, and they kick the crap out of everyone. They murder half the town. And they are just these brutal assholes. And all these people, these Taiwanese, or not Taiwanese, Thailand Olympic stars and
really
people living in this town all realize they're all going to die. They're not going to survive this. So if we're going to die, we're going to die for Thailand. And
so they just take up arms and start fighting.
They don't even take up arms. They just start fighting. And so you've got like a guy who plays soccer for a living who's knocking this fruit off of trees into people. You've got an 8-year-old girl who's a martial artist kicking the crap out of terrorists. You have people using gymnastics in ways you've never seen before to beat up terrorists.
This sounds insane.
And it's a 45-minute action sequence. They build up to this, and it is 45 minutes of nonstop action as these people try to take this town back. By the time the movie's over, like 12 people get on a truck to get out. I mean, so many people die in this fucking movie. It's unreal.
Damn.
It's so fucking good. And I hate the fact that I cannot remember the name. It is just insane. And you'll see the trailer online. The trailer is like the greatest trailer to a movie you've ever seen in your life. I'm going to go home, find this. So by the time this is up and everyone's listening to a couple of cold ones, I will have up a post of, I will try to find this trailer. This is the greatest trailer ever made. You'll watch this trailer and go, oh my God, this movie's so awesome. And while the movie doesn't quite live up to the trailer, it's still fucking pretty goddamn awesome.
Well, that's good. No movie should the movie doesn't live up to the trailer.
No, because when you watch the trailer, you'll see it, because I'll post it up and you'll no doubt find it. It's like one of those greatest trailers. You're going to be, oh my God, this shit's off the hook, and it is off the hook. But
I think I've heard of this, man.
2 minutes.
I
probably told you about this years ago.
You or some of these people we see at the theater have told me about it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of this before.
I cannot think of the name of this fucking movie.
But I remember at the time saying it was somebody it's a bar person, because there's a little Asian video place. I mean, it's almost like when you walk in there, it's like Gremlins. There's a guy in there like, hey, how are you? I'm expecting Gizmo to be in the background or something, but it's a woman actually runs this place. Kim's Video, I think is what it's called, something like that. And they were saying you can get that movie over there.
What's her last name, dude?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's Hong Kim.
It must be a woman. It's Kim's Video.
No. It is called Kim's Video, but the place is run by a woman. And there's a little woman there, and she gets all these movies, and they were telling me about this movie and saying, go get it over there.
No, it's the movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, I want to see it.
Really fucking good. But it's a Thailand Michael Bay movie.
Damn.
It is not a smart film, but man, is it patriotic. There's plenty of slow-mo action scenes, and there's some badass.
Yeah, that's Michael Bay. Like, this world needs another Michael Bay. I know you love Michael Bay. I ain't gonna say shit about him. Yeah.
Except that I love Michael Bay for what he is. Michael Bay is not a story guy. You do not watch a Michael Bay movie for the story.
You're telling
me? You do
not
watch it for the acting. You do not watch it. You watch it because the guy blows shit up better than anyone else in the world.
Well, there's your answer right there, man. Go rent anything with Michael Bay's name on it.
Well, they've probably already seen all that. You're right about that. But no, I will have the name of this movie up ASAP, and I will try to post the trailer up if they've got it on YouTube.
All right.
Dude, you guys all have to see this movie. It's going to be hard to find, though. You're going to have to track it down, because it's not going to be in Blockbuster.
Well, she'll type it up on the internet. It'll come up in 100 places. They can get on the internet somewhere, I'm sure.
No, but you actually have to get it that way.
But anyway,
he's checking his phone again. He's done that like 4 times tonight.
Hey man, you never know when Hancock might have to go out there and save somebody. So
yeah, or when Acock might need to go out there and save somebody.
I didn't want to put it that way, but you never know. You never know. People have different ways of helping people.
Let's wrap the show up.
Okay. And before we get out of here, I just want to apologize. I fell behind on a few things this weekend. I worked my ass off this weekend, and I want to just say I meant to get a bunch of reviews up, but it just didn't work out that way. It was hard, man. It was hard. That Hellboy review, we saw it on Wednesday. I'm trying to figure out how it worked, but it finally got up. It should have been up earlier, but it just wasn't possible at all. So,
and I'd just like to say I took the last 4 days off. So if you're like, wait, where you Carlisle asked for all these questions and he hasn't read, that's because I asked you the questions and I took the weekend off. This was Warhammer 40K. The 5th edition came out this weekend. Dude, I spent all weekend playing Warhammer. It was awesome.
I did just the opposite of taking a weekend off. The only thing I did was go to a housewarming party on Saturday. So we're gonna try and work out this whole thing of getting this stuff out there. Maybe we need to get some more help or something. But it happens sometimes. I hate to do it because it's not beneficial to the site. But we're gonna get on top of things at some point. But thanks for being patient, people. And after you see this, I'm still working on the fucking the Journey to the Center of the Earth review as we speak right now. Like when you leave, I'm just gonna be finishing that up. So anyway, that's our show for tonight. Whenever you're listening to this.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Good night.